Welcome to All Things Moore County, Moore County's weekly radio show highlighting the many facets of the Sandhills. That includes real estate, lifestyle, community and neighborhoods. And now from 4 Properties, here's your host, Bill Sahadi.
Good morning. Welcome to the talk show, All Things Moore County. Dorothy, we ran the gambit the last 3 to 4 weeks where we had the Judson Theater Company on.
Yes.
That show was canceled.
I know, it's sad.
We had the Pinehurst Theater Players Group on.
Yep.
Matilda.
Yep.
Show was canceled. Last week we had Annelle Stahl and her sister Adria on to talk about the her upcoming single release and okay. So we've had a couple of things going on the last couple of weeks that have caught up to us because every time we finish taping the show,
something happens.
Yeah, something happened. When Morgan Sills was here with Amanda Bierce and Terry Ganzel, they had just gotten into town. They were just setting up shop to practice, and that show was supposed to air this weekend at the Bradshaw Wright Performing Arts Center. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's kind of hard to do shows about Moore County right now without talking about the impact of what the coronavirus has had and the ripple effects, right?
Yeah.
How's it affected you?
Not too much, other than my kids are at home, driving everybody crazy.
Everybody's.
I've been
kids are
busy here at the radio station and getting things updated and keeping all of our advertisers happy and getting their messages out. Keep visiting them.
So what is the attitude of the advertisers with what's going on?
I think they're just trying to keep it all together. I think they're probably all worried, just like everybody else is.
Yeah. You know, I got a phone call the other day from a bank, a local bank, and she called me and she said, "Hey, Bill, how you doing?" I said, "I'm fine." She said, "We just want to let you know if you want to defer a mortgage payment or two on your office building, we'll be more than happy to do so." I said, "No, fortunately, I don't need to do that." But some of the local businesses are trying to reach out to different entities to try to help them. And you know, one of the themes of the show is always that Moore County is a great place to live, and that people are always providing nets to other people and trying to help them out. Whenever we've done shows in the past on different retail groups, whether it be Southern Pines or Aberdeen or Pinehurst, we've had different associations on. The one thing we've always found was that the spirit of these associations were very good. They all worked together. They were not compete. They were trying to help each other, and in doing so, helping themselves.
Right.
So, right now, all of that is kind of being put to the test.
Very much so.
I mean, this reminds me of the aftermath of 9/11, kind of.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the Twilight Zone.
Very much.
People are social distancing and staying to themselves and doing a good job of it.
Oh, yeah.
Even though I think as of the date of this recording, there have only been 2 cases of coronavirus in Moore County.
Yeah, that's as far as I know, you're correct.
And I have 2 sisters who live in Manhattan, and I mean, Jeannie works for CNN, and she's home. She's doing all her work from home. My other sister's retired, but she's home. But she said, now you can walk the streets of New York City.
It's a ghost town.
And she said, it's actually like it used to be. I said, when was it ever like it used to be?
When was it ever like that?
But there's a civility. I mean, no one's on the streets.
Yeah. It's weird.
Okay, so the bottom line is we've assembled a group of guests today who are local merchants and business people in Aberdeen, Pinehurst, and Southern Pines. And we're just going to kind of have a roundtable conversation about what this has all meant to us, because with only 2 cases and people social distancing and school being out, it's the towns have shut down. Have you been out at all? Have you seen the lack of traffic?
Oh, I've noticed it every day when I drive in here to work at the traffic circle. It's easy to get through now. And that's the big place for me, because I don't go too much into town since I don't have to.
Yeah. I spoke to...
it's kind of eerie outside.
Yeah, I spoke to Carol Haney the other day, the Southern Pines mayor, and we talked about, possibly dedicating the show the next couple of weeks to the merchants, some of the restaurant owners, the retailers. Advertisers have sort of put the skids on. Everybody is just saying, is this going to continue? This is like a nightmare. But we want to put a face to it as well. And I have a couple of people I want to introduce. Betsy Saye, who has been a past guest on the show for other reasons than today, is the owner of ETC, also known as Eloise Trading Company in Aberdeen. And she's been one of the, one of the pioneers of the resurgence of downtown Aberdeen and what that town has become, eclectic as it is, and charming. They've worked very closely with other retailers in town, welcoming new businesses, making Aberdeen a great destination. And to her left is Leslie Habets, who owns Jakl, Hadden, Floral, and Lily Rose. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm very good, thank you.
Are you lying?
Well,
a little bit.
Nervous.
Well, the reasons for being here is we're not here to advertise as much as, well, yes, we can indirectly, but to talk about some of the realities of what this has all meant to your businesses. Across from you is Amanda Jakl, who owns the Purple Thistle in the village of Pinehurst. I should actually come and talk to you. I'm remodeling an old home built in 1940, and the kitchen is so large it has its own zip code. And I don't know what to do with it, but I need to decorate it. I need to fill it in. It's been a 5-month project.
We have some items that might appeal to you.
Yeah, I bet you do. It's a 4,500 square foot home. Yeah, and it's a lot of work. And the cabinets are going in next week. The appliances are in storage. Amidst this, everything that's going on, it's kind of eerie because you're kind of working in like a vacuum. But I should probably come in. You'll open for me, will you not?
Of course.
I mean, you
Personal
can unlock the
shopping
door.
Experience.
Okay.
Yes, of course.
I'll take a hot shower and be really good.
And we also have a hand sanitizing station
Perfect.
and a sink that you can wash your hands right when you walk in.
This is what the world has become. Our world has
Yes.
become.
Full service.
Yeah, and Amanda, to your left is Haley Sumner, who owns Pink of the Pines and Southern Pines. So you guys are representing all the towns, the areas of commerce around here. Betsy, I'll start with you. How long ago did you start ETC? Because I don't think you've been here as long as I've been here. I don't think you've ever seen anything like this.
That's correct. We moved here in 2006.
Oh, okay.
And I've had a retail store in our building, the old Aberdeen hardware store, since 2009. So a long time, and finally, a lot of traction in Aberdeen.
Yep.
And it's kind of like the train at 2:30. If you're trying to get out of Aberdeen to get to school to pick up, it halts you really fast. And that's what this has done. It's halted our town. And it's hard because we were, a lot of traction, a lot of really, really great things going on.
Yeah.
So we're all trying to work together and figure out how can we collaborate and connect throughout the county, and what can we create that's an experience for the residents of our county and that will get them back out when all this is over.
Yeah. The ripple effects of what's going on the more we can talk about things like this, the more people will realize how much this hits home with all of you. I mean, when you started your business in 2009, downtown Aberdeen was not what it is today.
Correct.
So when you started, you were really one of the pioneers. But today, you look around as you were entering 2020, and you've got a very vibrant town that now has a host of variety of different types of shopping experiences.
Yes.
And a very strong retail association or guild where there's a great feeling of collaboration and cooperation.
Right, and especially with the town too. I think that's what we found in Aberdeen is that the town staff and the representatives there they want to do everything they can to help our businesses, and so we've got a nice joint effort of a business guild in conjunction with the town, and that's really brought us forward, which has been great.
Yeah, one of the most charming things about the downtown areas of the village of Pinehurst, of Southern Pines, and of Aberdeen, there are no big box retailers. And so what creates the charm are all the independent, courageous retailers who have these unique shops where you know it's indigenous to our area, and yet the way we're set up, these shop owners, you've all had to close your doors. Is that true?
We have.
You have. Voluntarily?
Yes. I think that the cost of, staying open, and I myself have 2 high-risk children, and my business partner has, asthma and is high risk. And so it's just not, we thought we didn't want to ask people to come visit us if we weren't comfortable being there. I mean, it's a double-edged sword, I think. And so we made the decision to close, and we'll meet people down there, if they want to buy something or happen to open the doors. We were there one day when we were receiving a shipment we knew was coming. So we're there kind of by chance, but it's pretty much closed. It's given us sort of a silver lining, I guess you could say, to work on our website. And since we've closed, we've had at least 1 order a day, which probably in the last year we hadn't had 3 orders off of our website. So I'll take a plus when I can.
We shift our priorities. Leslie, you own a floral shop and Lily Rose. Tell me about Lily Rose?
Lily Rose is a home and gift boutique. It's located right next door to our flower shop. We were formerly South Street, so we were located on South Street.
Right.
But we decided to move just for convenience. It's easier for us to be side by side. Lily Rose actually shut last Saturday, I believe. We just could not keep it open with the limited foot traffic coming in and keep a payroll there. The flower shop, Hadden Floral, is still open right now. We are running on pretty much a one-man band. That would be me. I'm currently answering calls, designing, delivering. You need it, we'll get it to you. I'm lucky enough to have a great staff. On a given day, we have anywhere from, if we have an event, 5 to 10 people who are working there. Luckily, my employees have been very supportive through this. They understand that it's just as hard on me as it is on them. They know they were going to have a job to come back to. We're going to do everything in our power to make that happen. Yeah. But it's definitely been interesting for us. We had about 18 cancellations or reschedules of weddings and events. And I would say our daily work intake has dropped to where we're doing maybe not even 15% of what we're normally doing. Sure. People are still sending flowers, but I think people are being more conscious with what they're spending money on.
Right.
Hopefully our weddings, our events are going to reschedule once all this ends and get out there and want to have a big party.
A mutual friend and acquaintance of Betsy's and I's, Pamela Gant. Mm-hmm. So a couple of weeks ago, I'm watching this on TV. I hear about the coronavirus. I hear about it in Italy, and I hear about it in Spain and China. And then we hear about it, coming here, but it didn't hit. It didn't stick. And then Pam's youngest daughter, Carlin, got married. Mm-hmm. And I remember Carlin when she was, up to my knees. And she had planned, I guess, for a year, this wedding. And they had a tough decision to make because they were right on the cusp before we kind of moved into like DEFCON 4. Mm-hmm. And they wound up having the wedding. I think a lot of it was virtual or where they had people on video who would watch the wedding but not be physically present to keep the numbers down. Mm-hmm. And you mentioned the wedding business because cancellations, the expos are usually in January.
Yes.
And brides are planning their events, and that is all like on hold.
Yes.
And as a florist, that puts you right in harm's way.
It does. We really started seeing some panic, I would say about 2-3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Especially the past weekend. We had several planned. We had a big spring built up. It's hard to talk to girls who have been planning for 6 months, a year, 2 years. There's a lot of investment on their side.
Sure.
grow to look at these girls as part of our family. We're working with them and their parents, their family members to help build these events.
Right.
And so it's heartbreaking for us as well. But we're trying to let our girls know, pick a new dates. No matter what, even if we have to bring in an additional crew, we will be there. You should not have stress during this time. And so we're really just trying to stand behind our clients right now. And we're lucky enough to have a great client base here in Moore County that I feel like is standing behind us, especially with the weddings and events.
Yeah. You know, as we go around the table, since you all are retailers, but you're not serving food, right? So people still have to eat 3 meals a day. And we've heard all about, and we've seen on social media, all the restaurants that have sort of shifted and are doing a big takeout business, or at least trying to position themselves. And we see a lot of people who are supporting their favorite restaurant owners by making good posts on Facebook, because food is something people have to have. When it gets to retail, it's not the same. The demand is completely different, and so the pressure has got to be actually stronger on you all. If a restaurant can go through, I've been to Kurt's Cucina a couple of times in the last week or so to do a takeout, and there are people standing there, and it's a convenience. But I don't feel the same way. But I have to go buy flowers today, or I need to come into ETC and pick up, right. So you guys are really more in harm's way than just about anybody. Amanda, your shop is closed in the village?
Yes, the storefront is closed, but we are going in to fill online orders.
So, and are you doing a lot of social media advertising and getting the word out about what you're doing right now?
As much as possible. We hope we're not annoying to people on social media, because we are posting probably more than we ever have before. We just started a Facebook group similar to the hashtag Save Our Service Industry group that the restaurants did to help, garner support for all the restaurant workers and the restaurants.
Right.
It's the hashtag Together We Are More. We worked with the chamber on that to get retailers specifically in front of people's eyes to say, hey, we might not be essential. Like, we're not selling essential items, but we are essential to the heart of Moore County. Yeah. We are the heartbeat that keeps everything going with the restaurants. If you don't have the stores, you don't have the restaurants, what do you have in Moore County?
Yeah. So have any of you, and we're going to continue to go around the table, and I'm going to get cut short here, Haley, but we're going to probably come back and start in the second set with you. But I don't want to get off what you just said. So have any of you had any conversations with your bankers, with your lines of credit? Are they working with you? Are you just watching your monies very tightly? Any restrictions that are not being put on you? Are they loosening up a little bit?
I don't know about everyone else, but our bank extended an interest-free loan through 2021, which we are considering. We've stopped all of our spring orders. We did unfortunately have quite a few big orders come in about a week and a half ago. So we are fully stocked.
Tell me for what? Because I have a kitchen I need to fill.
For the spring. So we have, brand new tea towels. We have new lines that just came in. So our stores are full. Yeah.
Inventory is healthy.
It's there. Mm-hmm.
It's there.
And the vendors have been really good too about pushing things back, because this is our sweet spot. March 15th to 30th is when all our spring stuff is coming in, and we've just said we have to push back indefinitely, and that's right. They're good about that. So.
March, April, and May are 3 very vibrant months in Moore County.
Mm-hmm.
Easter, Mother's Day.
Yeah.
Let's come back.
Well, and no tourists coming now either.
Right. The hotel is, I understand.
Well, and my husband is golf packaging, and every single one of his clients this spring is canceled. Every single one.
Wow.
So, we're just holding out for the summer and hope that U.S. Kids still comes. And and those tourists are also vital to our experience as well, too, because they have to go to the restaurants and the stores and enjoy their experience and their time here in Moore County.
Yeah, the music is telling me I need to cut this set short. Okay, we're going to come back in the next set. We're going to start talking with Haley Sumner. We didn't mean to ignore you. We're going to talk about your shop in downtown Southern Pines and the great spirit of all the retailers down there as well, and what you all are doing. This is All Things Moore County. We'll be right back. Welcome back to our second set of All Things Moore County. We're talking all about the local economy, the retail trade, and what the effects of the coronavirus has had, the ripple effects as it's sort of meandered into Moore County. You know, on one hand, everybody is doing a good job of social distancing, but social distancing winds up becoming the antithesis of shopping. It's the antithesis of going out to eat. And we applaud a lot of the restaurant owners who have adjusted their means of getting food to the public. They've all invested in a lot of takeout signs and advertising. And from what I've heard from the panel in the first set, everybody here has already started doing more visual social media advertising and finding that, oh my gosh, you know what? Maybe the light at the end of the tunnel on this is that there will be another way to reach clients when things get back to normal. And they will get back to some sense of normal, but the pain that people feel right now is real. And I think just during the break we were talking about, Amanda, you were saying a retailer can go, a small retailer, 9 days in a month
on average,
without any business generating any revenue and surviving.
Correct.
And a restaurant?
I believe it was 4.
4 days?
I mean, I just read that on social media, so I don't want to be I'm not the expert, but and if it's on the internet, it must be true.
Right. As far as you know.
Back in 2008, after the real estate debacle here, everybody and the stock market taking such a hit as the wild swings are happening now, people are all in this together. And I know that sounds like a cliche, but just imagine we were all together on the 81st floor of the Empire State Building. Big cocktail party, 500 people talking. Boom, overnight, the coronavirus hits. Well, we wake up. We're still all on the same floor at the same cocktail party, except now we're on the 51st floor. We've all sort of lost some height. Everyone is in this together, and everybody is suffering together. The restaurant people have a little bit of an advantage, I think, over the merchants because people have to eat every day. They don't have to shop every day. I've read a couple of social posts and they were really good. They said, you know, these restaurants have helped the schools. They've helped the athletic programs whenever they've been asked for support. So now it's time for us to help them. And I'm sure as independent retailers, you've done the same thing.
All the time.
Yeah.
All the time, right?
We probably are asked 3 to 5 times a week when
Minimum, for sure.
Yeah.
I would say more during the school season, but that's not all schools. That's when most of your events are going on.
Yeah.
So we're constantly giving back to the community.
Or
Yeah.
other nonprofits asking for silent auction items for their silent auctions or their live auctions or...
Amanda, you might know this better than most at the table, but I think at last count there are over 850 nonprofit organizations see, I told you she would know.
Yes.
850 nonprofit organizations, and every one of them has a right to be, and yet they are relying on the citizens of Moore County to support them to do the work that they do. And it's a very giving community, and doesn't matter Republican, Democrat, doesn't matter. It's a very giving community. But right now that's being put to the test. I've never heard of a situation where people donate or give money to merchants. Being an independent retailer is you're on the edge every single day. You've got new product coming in for each season, and oh my gosh, if you make a mistake in your purchasing, I was in the jewelry business for many years. If you make a mistake, and the color scheme is wrong, and especially if it's clothing, oh my gosh, you eat that and there's no recovering from it. And yet you offer something that most malls don't offer, most big box retailers don't offer. It's a slice of our neighborhood, of our area. But the price to pay, yes, you're independent, but the risk that you run, this becomes your worst nightmare. What's going on right now?
Most of our flowers, not necessarily
Leslie?
our retail stuff, is perishable. And I think a lot of people
right.
forget about that. They think just restaurants, grocery stores, that type of thing. It's really hard for us to order right now because we don't know if we're going to get 2 orders or if we're going to have 30 orders come in. And we can't afford right now to have, normally we have 6 trucks run a week. We keep a very large selection of flowers, but right now we can't afford to do that because we can't afford for them to go to waste if people are not coming out and supporting the business.
Yeah. We didn't get a chance, but we are now, to turn our attention to Haley Sumner. You own Pink of the Pines in Southern Pines.
Correct.
And tell me a little bit about your store.
We have been here 5 years
Okay.
this spring. We are fortunate to have a website that's really helped us during this difficult time. And downtown Southern Pines is a ghost town right now.
Yeah.
There's usually, you can't find a parking spot
Right.
any time of the day.
Right.
There's parking everywhere right now. So
I spoke to Carol Haney a couple of days ago and told her we were going to try to dedicate the show this week, probably next week, to different merchants, restaurant owners, people that have a story to tell. And I notice each day she is out there posting on social media proactive comments about the downtown Southern Pines area. I mean, I just heard that Springfest was canceled. And it's almost like the Masters is canceled. Springfest is canceled. All these things that mark our calendar are going by the wayside. And then I heard somebody say the other day, and you're, by the way, your shop is Lily Pulitzer Products. It's an accessory and women's clothing shop.
Yep, we sell women's clothing and children's clothing. And the spring and summer are our big times, like Leslie was talking about. It's her big time too. This is when everybody wants Easter dresses, matching, Mother's Day, graduation.
Or your beautiful floral pants.
Leggings, workout. And we've been
Excuse me.
selling a lot of these because everybody's at home working out from
Athleisure
home.
wear.
Yes.
Are you selling them now?
Yes, we have been fortunate. We're just doing appointments only, so we've had a few appointments here and there, mostly phone orders, and our website has really been booming. We've been pushing hard on social media.
So it's really funny. I read somewhere, I don't know where I read it, but somebody said it'll be really interesting to see in the maternity ward 9 months from now
Very.
Yep.
what's going to be happening.
Coronials.
Right. What do you call them?
The coronials.
Yeah. That, and then, people who are online shoppers who might be bored, and so they want to feel good, so they'll go onto Amazon.com or they'll go to wherever. Okay.
Not Amazon.
Not Amazon. But they'll go to an online site and have something shipped to them. And it's like scratching an itch, and it only lasts 10 minutes. The anticipation is the package coming to the door, and then the package comes, you open it, and you go, oh, okay, is that all there is? And they do it again. But for you, your store is physically, is it opened or not opened?
We are open. We're there filling online orders, and people have been calling to do phone orders, and then they'll call to book appointments. So we've had some in today for appointments, and then we're doing curbside pickup as well. And I've done some free deliveries to people's doorsteps too.
Okay. And what were you telling me about, was it the Country Bookshop or Carol Haney organizing something in town, a curbside pickup?
Yep. So I think Kimberly kind of talked with Carol Haney about doing the curbside pickup. And so they have put signs up downtown Southern Pines for all of the curbsides in the area. Even on the other side of the railroad tracks, they've put them up too for the restaurants. And it says curbside pickup, this is for that parking or those people only. So
how did you all, when I used to be in the jewelry business, we had, Easter was a big season. We sold a lot of crosses and pendants, and So there are different holidays that mark different times of the calendar. How did it sound when you heard that, gee, we might be back in business by Easter? I mean, I couldn't understand that because we're just a couple of weeks away. How does that possibly happen?
I don't know. I mean, it would be fabulous if that were the case, but I'm not so optimistic.
Yeah.
I think that we still have a long way to go with people's relatives being sick, themselves being sick, with their confidence in the economy. I think
Right.
there's a lot out there that is still so unknown.
And who has confidence? I heard that the schools are now closed till May 15th. Who thinks they're going to ever open again this year? How can that be?
I have a high school senior,
Oh, my God. Yeah.
and this is not how he envisioned his end of his senior year. It's really, really tough.
Yeah.
I've got a college sophomore who's home, and our house, it's a strange thing,
Right.
with everybody doing their work on the computer, and I'm having to make lunch. I mean, so it's just it's for everyone. It's a completely new normal.
Yeah, it is. We're gonna come back in the third set. We're speaking with Betsy Saye of Eloise Trading Company, Leslie Habets of the Hadden Floral Company, and Lily Rose, Amanda Jakl of the Purple Thistle, the Village of Pinehurst, and Haley Sumner, Pink of the Pines, Southern Pines. This is All Things Moore County. Welcome back to our final set of All Things Moore County. If personalities could keep people in business and afloat, the four ladies at this table would be rolling in the dough. Unfortunately, we can't just rely on your charm and your personalities. And I'll tell you, the wake-up call that I see, and I'd love to get your opinion on this, is you've watched other businesses now try to reinvent themselves in this situation and how they're marketing. What have you seen or observed or learned that you might take and develop when we get back to a place where we're open for business and people are back out shopping? Anybody? Betsy?
I don't know if this exactly speaks to what you were saying, but I think what I've noticed most is that the community and the customers, the non-business people, have been so embracing of any business's post and sharing it and liking it and commenting on it and passing it on to a friend. And I really hope that doesn't go away, because that really feels good to the business owners when someone shares your post, or they love it, or they say, oh, I love my pillows I got at your store, here's a picture of them. They post a picture. I mean, that keeps us going. That says it's gratifying. And so that's what I don't want to go away.
Right.
Is that interaction with our customers that we yearn for. We're in retail because we love people. We like to be around them. I mean, the best part of the day is the customers that walk in, and people that would have never crossed your doorstep and you would have never known. And we miss them. I mean, I miss them terribly.
Right.
So feeling their presence on social media and through email is awesome.
Yeah. Our world is becoming more virtual, more visual. I got Dorothy, I don't think I told you this, but I got an email the other day from Beth Morgan over at Connect NC.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, since she handles the posting of the podcast, she wrote me an email with a link, and she said, Bill, if you wind up having to tape the shows and doing it visually, remotely, there was a specific link she wanted me to see. I'm hoping that we can still do a show each week here in the studio, but she's thinking outside the box and looking down the road, assuming that this is not going to get better anytime soon. And if we all wind up having to be seeing each other on computer screens, it's a crazy way to be.
It is.
One of the biggest attractions of living in Moore County is the interpersonal, like Betsy was saying, the interpersonal communication. We have people who come here from out of town who are looking at homes, and they go, that person waved at me. What did that person do? Why? I said, because they're just saying hello. And I'm a kid from Brooklyn, so I was used to hiding behind manhole covers, to protect myself. And I was taken when I first came down here, too, in 1980, how friendly people were. Mm-hmm. Well, that has been taken away from us. And
True.
And that's something we all are going to miss. We all kind of become a little more organic right now, and we try to look at what we have versus what we don't have. Mm-hmm. But the reality still remains. Merchants are really the most vulnerable of the different types of businesses. I got a call. I spoke to Laura Douglas from the Pilot this morning. She was doing an article on real estate, and she wanted to know about the impact of this on our market. And I said, it's okay. I mean, in a way, it's going to become more of a buyer's market than a seller's market, which is not a bad thing. We might get a chance to reset a couple of things, which is not a bad thing. But we were talking about merchants, and I was thinking to myself, we were going to have you guys on today. You guys are at most risk, and the survival rate of independent business people, the statistics are staggering, how difficult it is to stay in business. I think it's past 3 years or 2 years. Mm-hmm. You've been in business for 11 years. Mm-hmm. Who said they were in? How many years, Amanda, have you been?
Well, we just purchased the business last September, but the Purple Thistle's been open for about 3 years.
3 years.
So
okay.
I think I'm the youngest of all. Everybody has a table.
So you're
Baby
at that.
business.
Yes, the baby business.
You're at that 7-year itch right now. 3 years.
Yes. Oof.
Yeah. I read something about a wine, a husband and wife today. They import Italian wines.
Sassy and Paolo. Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Baco Selections.
Yeah.
Okay,
Good
and so
stuff.
do you know their story?
Sure. Mm-hmm.
So they were saying, they were telling people where their wines were available. I thought that what they were going to do was say, look, we can't distribute right now, so we have these unusual wines. If you want to come and buy them, I'm sure there are a lot of people who are candidates for drinking a lot of wine right now.
Yes.
Well, unfortunately, they can't sell directly to consumers. They have to go to retailers.
But so there's a young couple with a dream and an idea, and the entrepreneurial spirit in Moore County is so vibrant, and that's what people like about here. It's like revisiting yesteryear. You don't get this when you go to a big urban area. Maybe you do in Green Bay, where you're from. I don't know. But Amanda, how about you? How long have you been in business?
I have been in business. I've owned both shops for 4.5 years,
Leslie.
but both shops I purchased. So the flower shop has actually been in business for over 20 years. It was formerly Aldina Fries, and South Street was Aldina's on South. So South Street / Lily Rose is,
Right.
I think, over a decade now. A good over a decade, and the flower shop's well over 20
So it's been
years.
established, and it's
Yes.
Leslie, and I'm sorry, but
I don't mind.
So,
I
well-
like Amanda.
so let me ask you. So Leslie, you're the only one at the table who has young kids at home right now.
Yes.
How are you homeschooling? How are you managing their behavior and running your business? And how are you worrying at the same time?
Well, they may drop out of the 6th grade and 2nd grade, and at this point, they're running wild. No, we're having to reevaluate everything. Just like on the store side, we're having to reevaluate our structure at home. We were used to going to soccer, to school, to different activities. So luckily for me, where my children are in school, they've not started homeschooling yet. They do not start until next week. So we have had, they've been out, but they kind of had an extended spring break. So we've been lucky enough to be able to get their homeschooling area set up, to get things, a kind of a system in place. We'll see if that system works, but it looks like it's kind of touch and go for everybody, and we're just making the best of it.
Yeah. What are the? I'll start it with the town of Aberdeen. What kind of directives are you getting from the mayor, from the council about opening, anything like that? Is this all done voluntarily?
It's all done voluntarily at this point. I think they're just supportive of whatever we're trying to do. And I
Yeah.
think we have not had any specific directives from the town administration, but they certainly, they help us in any way that they can.
Yeah.
I think we're trying to be good stewards of our
Leslie?
community. I know with us, we're open, we will deliver, but we have locked our front doors. Yeah. But we're trying to do our part with the social distancing and, not spread anything else.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, the Village of the Pinehurst
Amanda?
is the same issue. We haven't been given any specific directives,
Right.
but like Leslie said, we're just trying to stop the spread of anything if it
Right.
is if it is in Moore County, and
Right.
going in just to fill online orders to keep business going.
Yeah. And Haley, you have the online presence, so it's keeping you busy.
It is. We're actually having a sale right now, and Lily never lets us have sales, so that's really keeping us busy. We did over 80 orders yesterday and shipped them out.
So there's
Through
so
tomorrow, so
is that right?
yes.
So there's a lesson in what you just said, because from now on, the memory of this is not going to leave us, and as retailers, you have to be equipped and ready to pivot. A lot is being asked quickly. Yeah, retailers, I'll tell you, it's a very high risk business, because you have to reinvent yourself every season, and again, God forbid you make a mistake in good times. In good times, and you've seen so many retailers fall by the wayside. I mentioned Prangies up in Wisconsin, and they're like an afterthought now. All these retailers have gone away. So what's left is for the ingenuity and the entrepreneurial skills that you have as independent retailers. But you know what? It's worth fighting for, because being independent, being an independent contractor, and being able to live in Moore County, that's a lot to aspire to. And I hope that everyone's attitude is they're just going to buckle up and fight through this and do their very best to survive. Is that an accurate statement?
I think we're going to come back bigger, better, and
Leslie?
stronger than ever.
Yeah.
I think the economy will boom once it comes back.
Yeah.
And I have high hopes. I think the parties will go on. People will want the matching outfits to redecorate their kitchens and throw parties, and definitely have, etc. It's great accessories and
Yes.
gifts too. Not to count everything else Moore County has to offer.
I hope everyone here works on their online presence, and
Call me, I can help y'all.
there you go. She's like the cat that ate the canary, sitting at the table, right, with that big smile. We hope to do this again next week, and maybe hope to get a couple of people that are in the restaurant business and how they're hanging in there. Because honestly, these people that are selling food, they're not selling liquor. And if you're not selling liquor and you're just selling food, your margins are like razor thin. People don't always get that, but I appreciate you guys all coming in, and everybody who knows your stores will want to support you, and I think you're right. People will come back strong. Betsy Saye, thank you for coming in. Leslie Habets, Amanda Jakl, and Haley Sumner. It was a pleasure. And Amanda, you made it.
I did.
You got through.
Thank you for having me.
She didn't kick the can down the road, did she? She did a great job. Dorothy, I think this might be the first of a couple of shows that we do with this topic.
I think it'd be a good idea.
And, people who want to go out and support their local restaurants, please do go out and get takeout food. And people who want to support their shops,
Yeah.
like our store owners today, they can go in and or they can order online or by phone a gift certificate.
Yeah.
That can be used at a future date. It doesn't have to be that they have to physically go into the store now and walk through that line of social distancing, but
Yeah.
gift certificates would be a great way to support any merchant that
Especially
you've done,
during this time.
Yeah, if you've done business with merchant in the past, that would be, I think that would be worthy of a huge thank you from all the merchant owners.
Yeah.
This is All Things Moore County. We hope to talk to you next week. Thank you.